So that happened. I guess we should first talk about the starting lineup for United. They played a 4-2-3-1 with Fred and Eriksen as the holding midfielders. I don't want to throw Ten Hag under the bus just yet, but he has made some questionable decisions with regard to lineups. Eriksen is not a defensive midfielder. I don't think he's played there many times in his career. He's a creative player. And so he did lose the ball on two of those early goals, but again, he's not a number 6. He shouldn't be playing there. So that was an interesting decision. Also, Lisandro Martinez. Personally, I don't think this was a great transfer. I don't think Man United really should have gone after him. I think there were other options that they could have explored, but I guess Ten Hag is familiar with Martinez, so we'll see how he fares the rest of the season. But he had a rough game. I'm just wondering why Varane isn't playing, because he is without a doubt their best defender. He is miles ahead of Maguire, and I think a lot better than Martinez at this moment. So I don't see why you wouldn't play Martinez and Varane together. But he chose not to. I guess going forward, you had Ronaldo up front, Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right. Rashford's definitely had a tough, I'd say 18 months or so. He's been really, really poor. Sancho, I like Sancho. I think, again, he didn't have a great game, but he's a creative player and they need him. Ronaldo obviously didn't have a lot of service, so there wasn't really much he could do. And Bruno Fernandez, I do not rate Fernandez at all. He had a good spell at the beginning of his Manchester United career, and then it's sort of been downhill ever since. So I guess the same could be said about Luke Shaw, and really many United players, where once they've joined, they've regressed instead of improved. I also find it strange that Donny van de Beek hasn't started these last 2 games, given his relationship with Ten Hag and their success at Ajax. It does seem strange that McTominay has played more than him, and it doesn't make sense. McTominay is an average player at best. I don't think there's another team in the Premier League that would start McTominay, that would even want McTominay at this moment in time. And he seems to feature every game, both him and Fred. The midfield I would put out would probably be a midfield 3 with Fred as the holding midfielder, seeing as how they don't really have anyone else. And the 2 ahead of him, I guess I'd put Eriksen on one side and Donny van de Beek on the other side. But I guess, I don't know, there's something going on in that club, because to have McTominay feature as often as he has is just strange. We got to give credit to Brentford. Tony and Mbeumo were really good. They had a plan, they had a structure, they played with great effort, and ultimately got the result they deserved. Looking forward for Manchester United, it'll be interesting to see what other business they get done in this transfer window. They were linked with Arnautovic and Rabiot, which, if I were a United fan, I'd feel insulted, to be honest. There are a couple players that Man United should look to offload. One being Marcus Rashford. He's got 1 year left on his contract with a club option. They should try and get whatever money they can for him because, as I said before, he's been in very, very poor form. I guess they should also try to sell Ronaldo if they can because he's also got a year left and it's a player option and he's definitely not coming back, and who knows what he'll have left in the tank. So they should definitely prioritize selling him and seeing what money they can get for him at this stage in his career. But if we're being realistic, this team needs an overhaul. They need to offload many players, and yeah. But there are the issues that plague Man United are there's many of them. There's a multitude. I mean, to go from where they were to where they are now, a lot had to go wrong, and a lot has gone wrong. And they're gonna have to try and get through this because it's ugly.